sculptures and so on and so forth. The art ensemble had all of its instruments exhibited there. I had my trios come in on the ECM record that we recorded there. From that standpoint of view, I'm looking at, more exhibits and stuff for the art ensemble's instruments. I mean, because I used that period to get everything back intact. Everybody had a different color for their anvil cases and so on and so forth. And the anvil cases, the foam starts to deteriorate. So then there was someone in Madison that helped me, put rugs in there so I preserved the cases so they can, the instruments can tour around to all of these different museums and that kind of thing. I'm always thinking of trying to move forward what I've done, only touched on, because what I saw was, in Chicago, I was there with a bunch of people that had their eye on having more control over their own destinies and so on, because they had looked at, the great masters of our music that were out there on their own that didn't really fare that well. So what we're doing is, I'm just keeping that legacy going, and I think that's what I would like to see the young people do, because it works better, and then you get all these different ideas and stuff. If you're bringing people here to do concerts in your series, and you're going there to do concerts in that series, and so on and so forth. So I think that this is a good time for that.
Thanks a lot. Just a few questions, and then maybe another general for everybody a short Q&A, and then I think I will be kicked out by the manager, maybe.
Thank you, Peter.
So you were talking about dialogues on your own instrument. You just mentioned a conversation or a speaking. So were you also influenced by sounds of nature? Were you influenced by that? Sounds of nature?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of the most difficult things that you can do, is to go out into nature and just try and fit in, everything in nature is always right, it's always right. It's, when we come here as, into the world, we're always right. And then we go off and become shaped differently, and then now we're trying to get back to the way we were. If I think of my daughter when she was young, some of the notes she was hitting with her voice and so on, the sounds and all of that kind of a thing is a good place to aim for, to go back and be able to reach into yourself, into that part of yourself, and to be able to recreate some of that.
So when you go out into nature, what do you hear then?
Well, I've got several different things, that come. When I was in France, I was friend with Limousin, who was an architect, and he would have these houses that he would be renovating, and he may say, oh, here's the keys to this place, you can go there if you want to, the weekend or whatever. And there was one place I went there, it had this pond there, and I had the flute of Donald Raphael Garrett made for me, and I would go down there and just try to fit into the sounds that were being produced in nature. Certainly, it's a great thing to do. And one of my students, I mean, I thought Paul Sinclair, you know, really was able to do this kind of thing. You know, I mean, a lot of times in our practical meetings, you would want to go outside and be in nature, and he may develop some things on the ground, and then pretty soon he's climbed up into the trees, and he's there doing you know, different sounds and things like that. And today he continues to, you know, to study all that. And Christopher Luna, another student, very complicated, complex, I should say, complex compositions that represent sounds that he recorded from nature and so on, you know. So, Peter, there's so much to learn right now, man. You know that. You know, that's all I can say, because I mean, I'm not even talking about this here, and then I'm thinking about all these other things. So, but yeah, it's a very interesting period, you know.
So why is it now an interesting period? Because you also mentioned something. I hope I can mention that loud, but I think it cannot harm us anything. You mentioned that people are interested in hearing improvisers who know what they are doing. And these days, I think you said these days.
Yeah.
So I was puzzled a bit because I mean.
But they wanted to hear it before too.
Yeah. Okay. So it was not especially these days because I thought, okay, these days must be different than those days.
No, they're not different. They're not different. You know.
So people are always interested in improvisers who know what they are doing.
Well,
Yes.
that's true. I mean, but on the thing well, I mean, you know, there's all sorts of improvising traditions that we know that happen that are created by multiple people doing it. Okay. All right. So, so this to me seems like a new challenge, you know, to where we're developing these ensembles that are able to communicate in writing a composition that sounds like they know what they're doing, you know, on a consistent level. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do here, you know, and